guys, it's Black Rat from 287 and welcome to the channel. So the topic of the video today gonna be about the Sx19 top 10. So we have two lists. It's gonna be a little bit different than the last video that we did, because in the last video we have a completely free to play list and a paid list. Now we're gonna have still the paid list with skins and the heroes that you can buy. But in the free list, Roe Academy, I guess Valaski, did a list without skins, but with the paid heroes. It's actually more interesting because if you guys don't have skins but have one or two paid heroes, it's still going to be interesting for you to know if your legion gonna work well or not. So we're going to start right now the top 10 with this list, the free to play list. Not really free to play actually, I don't know how to call this. We're going to call this the list without skins. So for the list without skins, we're gonna have Hellfire, Warhammer, and Caesar as a top 10. So this legion is known since a long time to be used with Avalanche instead of Caesar. It's a very versatile legion. I actually love to play this legion with Avalanche. So Caesar is just a paid hero, super strong, does tons of damage, so that's why he's here. But it's really an alternative of that legion that we had, but with a stronger hero. But if you have Caesar, obviously you're not going to play with this legion at all. Then top 9 we have John Dark, Avalanche, and Louis 9. So John Dark, of course, pairs very well with Avalanche because she's going to make her to skip the prep skills. And Avalanche have a lot of prep skills, so it's really great. Louis also have prep skill. I guess you have one, so that's why John Dark is paired with him. But this legion is really not great, really not, because if you have Avalanche also, you're never going to pair it like this. You can see that there's really better legions upper. Actually, John Dark is really out of the meta now. It's not really great to pay her, so really not worse, and it's a paid hero also. So then we have top 8. We have Hellfire, Louis 9, and Caesar. So we replace Warhammer by Louis. Louis is a support, so he can actually work with a lot of heroes as a damage dealer in the back row. But I'm not really fan of it. I'm not fan also of this legion. Really not worse at all. Those heroes are really better in other legions, so we're not gonna lose time with this legion actually. Then top 7. Here we have something interesting. So we have Roland, Hellfire, and Avalanche. So this is the first full free-to-play that we have in the list. Really a strong legion. So Roland, of course, works very, very well with Avalanche. We already know this. And Hellfire is really came back on the meta now. He's really strong, working super nicely in many legions. And this legion actually was one of the greatest to play against Harald. So it's a really great legion to play. I recommend you to try it at least. I play it sometimes. I'm still not decided to play with Hellfire or another hero, to be honest. I'm still trying, but really strong legion. Then we're gonna go for the top 6 and also extremely important legion. We have Rosenblade, Farah, and Sendiata. Also, we know this since very long. I recommend you to play Sendiata on the middle row instead of Farah, especially if you're going to fight a rainforest. It's going to make a lot of difference because the rainforest is going to target the hero in the same position. So if she's in back row, and she's usually always in back row, she's going to destroy Sendiata. So it's really better to put it in the middle row, in my opinion. Top 5 we have Hellfire, Rosenblade, and Caesar. Okay, so this legion is gonna be interesting if you have Caesar actually. It's gonna be interesting because Rosenblade, of course, gonna boost a lot the damage of Caesar. He does a lot of normal basic attacks. It's not a full damage legion. It's kind of, yeah, a little bit versatile with Hellfire, who's gonna be doing defense, healing, and the Purge. So it's a good legion if you have Caesar. Really a good legion, because if you go upper on the list, you're gonna see that you're gonna need Octavius to play with Caesar. So if you only have Caesar, this is really an interesting legion to play. Then we go for top 4, and it's Roland, Louis, and Avalanche. So I already talked about this combo when I did the review about Lewis. I was believing that this is gonna work. So Lewis is a support. It's really not bad support. But to be honest, I'm not a big fan of it with Avalanche. I'm not a big fan. I try it, but I'm still really not a big fan of this Legion. I mean, I'm not a fan of Lewis, actually. Still not. Probably gonna have heroes more interesting in the future who's gonna pair with him, but I'm not a big fan of this Legion. But obviously, you're gonna play Roland and Avalanche for sure in your Legions, but then you need to decide if you want to play Lewis, Hellfire, or Elseed. You can check here, actually, with Elseed. She is number 12. And for me, actually, I think that Roland Seed Avalanche is doing better, especially when you're gonna fight multiple Legions, because you have more healing, so it's more consistent, in my opinion. But it's still a good Legion to play with Lewis or with Hellfire. You can decide depending your preference, but the three are really good. Now we go for the top three, and we have Octavius, Cleopatra, and Caesar. So Octavius is really one of the best cavalry defensive hero for sure, 100%. He's really super strong, but of course it's a paid hero, so this Legion is really expensive because you need 3 paid heroes actually. So Cleopatra is versatile. She works with a lot of things, so she's going to be the support of this Legion. Caesar going to be doing the damage. Octavius is going to be tanking, so it's really a classical Legion with tank, support, and damage. Really consistent, interesting Legion, but really expensive to get, so I don't think many of you have all those 3 heroes, so but still a good Legion to play, I guess. I never saw it in fight, but I believe that this is going to be very strong. Then top 2 we have Roland, Octavius, Avalanche. So here, of course, it's another Legion with Roland, Avalanche, but with Octavius in the middle. So as I say, Octavius very strong tank, so he's gonna do the job. He's gonna be doing the job. In this Legion, it's gonna be more defensive Legion, actually, really more defensive. So I never saw it also in the fights, but it's probably very interesting for defending. Really, for defending, gonna be super consistent. Now we're gonna go for the top one, and we have Octavius, Hellfire, and Caesar. So this Legion is really the strongest Legion for cavalry. Really, there's no better, because I actually saw this Legion fighting, and it's very, very, very strong. Really a massive, strong Legion. So very defensive actually with Octavius and Hellfire, but Caesar do so much damage that this is gonna really destroy everything. This Legion also gonna be interesting to fight Harald. It's doing really great against Harald with Hellfire. Hellfire is good to play against Harald, but with Caesar, really Caesar gonna be doing too much damage. So very interesting Legion to play. If you have those 2 heroes, Octavius, Caesar, you for sure gonna be going for this Legion. So now let's have a look on the paid list, and for this we're gonna go on the application Roe Handbook. Let's go now. So here we go for the paid list with the skin. So we're gonna see if there's some differences or not on the ranking, because actually the combo is gonna be the same or almost all the same here. So you can see top 10 we have Hellfire, Warhammer, and Caesar. So we already had this Legion as a top 10 without the skin, so it doesn't change anything. Top 9 we have Hellfire, Lewis, and Caesar. So this Legion was top 8 on the other list. And you can see that we have John Dark, Avalanche, and Lewis on the top 8. So actually the Legion with John Dark was top 9, and now she's top 8 with the skins. So it's actually stronger than the other Legion. Not very different, but okay. Let's go for top 7. And top 7 we have Octavius, we have Cleopatra, and Caesar. And you can see that this Legion is top 7. And in the other list, if I check here, it was in the top 7. So it's actually less strong with the skins. I mean, it's going to be stronger with the skins, but the other Legions with the skins going to be doing better than this one without. So we're going to check who is actually better than this. And we're going to go for the top 6, and we have Hellfire, Rosen, and Caesar with the skin. And this Legion was top 5, but with the skins, she's top 6. And then we're going for the top 5. We have Roland and Seed and Avalanche. And if you remember on the list, free to play, Roland Seed Avalanche, I'm checking, was rank 12. So it's going to be doing a lot of difference with the skins, but especially the Avalanche skin going to be doing a lot of difference. Seed also is a really good skin, so it's going to make a difference. But I believe that the Avalanche is doing the biggest difference here. So really a strong Legion if you want to play. Then top 4 we have Roland, Octavius and Avalanche. So this Legion was top 2 without the skins. Now we have top 3 Roland, Hellfire and Avalanche, and this Legion was top 7. She was top 7, and you can see that the skins are doing a big difference on this one. So if you have Hellfire, and especially, but it's really Avalanche who's doing a lot of difference in those combos actually. Avalanche is a really strong skin. And then top 2 we have Rose and Sendiata, and she was, and Farah, and she was rank 6 on the other list without skins. So it's doing really better, but of course the skin of Sendiata and the skin of Farah are the ones very expensive, the everlasting skill, so that makes a huge difference also. That's why it's top 2, but still really this Legion is absolutely really strong. And then we're gonna go for top 1, and we have Octavius, Caesar and Hellfire. So with the skins, this Legion is always doing the job. You can see that they change actually Hellfire in the back row and Caesar in the middle row, but I believe they did this also because of the Legion with Rainforest. So the same as I said about Sendiata, you can see also here that they put Sendiata in the middle. I don't think it's any difference to make with the skins. I believe they just make this list a little bit after or something, and they decide to put the heroes in this spot because Rainforest really gonna do a big damage. Or maybe they did that because without skins, Rainforest is not great. So if you're playing against no skin Rainforest, really no one gonna play actually without skins. But with the skins Rainforest, a lot of people play her. So it's gonna make the difference here. I think they did that because of that. So as you can see, the lists are a little bit different with the skins. There's few differences that you need to take into consideration. If you don't have all the skins, you really need to try what's really the most interesting for you. So that's it for the video about Cavalry, and I see you soon for the next. We're probably gonna do Oshery, I believe, and peace out.